What's up, YouTubers? I'm Jordan, this is Trevor, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some supporting characters that have been going on in Arrow, and we kind of wanted to decide on which one we thought was best.
Yeah, so we're choosing from all of the Arrow supporting actors besides Diggle. Because
yeah, you can't
Diggle's the bomb.
Diggle's the bomb diggity.
Yeah, and so we all know, like, or at least between the two of us, if one of us was to choose which one was our favorite supporting character, we would both choose Diggle.
Diggle,
and
for sure.
And whoever got to pick Diggle would win the argument. So we just decided to take him out. My choice, surprisingly, is Laurel. And that's funny because I don't really like her, but
she's a little bit unlikable lately.
Well, actually,
in the past season,
we'll talk about that later. But I think that lately, I actually am starting to like her more. But you go ahead and say who you
mean, I of course chose Felicity.
Okay.
I mean, how can you not think of Felicity as being one of the better supporting actors when it comes to the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we're going to go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and let you have the floor and give us your opening statement.
Yeah, we're going to have some opening statements and we'll doing some rebuttals and stuff like that. So my opening statement with Laurel is that she is a character who has gone through so many life changes over the show, over the past 3 seasons. She started out when she was growing up, you know, really coddled and everything, and then she lost a family member and her boyfriend, and not just losing them, but found out that they were together, you know, and that really just like tore at her heart and everything, and through that experience, her father became a drunk, and her mom left and everything. So she's been through so much. Yet what she does is she doesn't fall apart as a person necessarily, but she goes and she becomes a lawyer, a defense attorney, and like I feel like that's a really stand-up thing to do, and I think that just like makes her character from the start of season 1 a really strong character. And we see through season 2 whenever her sister comes back and everything, and then whenever her sister comes back and her family just welcomes her back with open arms, and she kind of is reluctant to accept what has happened. She's like, how can you just be okay now? Like, we've still gone through so much, and like I'm still torn up inside, even though you're back and everything. And throughout that season, she becomes a drunk like her father, and she starts taking pills and everything. So she's gone through some really dark times, and through those dark times, I feel like she's still come out on top. And that's my opening statement.
I mean, all well put and everything, but I mean, you really, like, come on. Felicity is the character that everybody loves. I don't think there's ever been a point where people have not really loved her. Maybe a little bit in this 3rd season where we've seen her more crying a little bit more much, and a little, and just not as out there as she has been. But the 1st season, we get to see her working for Oliver Queen and all those small little scenes wherever Oliver tries and goes up there and asks her to do something computer related, and he comes up with that really awful excuse like, this is a drink that one of my friends is trying to analyze, and he wants to know what energy drink is actually in this. Yeah, that made for some really comical. I mean, yeah, and that's what I really feel like Felicity brings, is some really good comic relief. And of course, she's always been the kind of thing that Oliver can hold on to. At least lately, in the beginning, towards the end of the 2nd season and the majority of that 3rd season, Oliver really, like, that was the one thing that he knew that he could rely on, was Felicity always trying to be there. And that's why I really think that Felicity really probably is one of the better characters in just helping the story develop. I mean, through her, she kind of brought about, you could probably say, the Atom, and helped make him who he is. I know that he already had the idea of making the suit and making the Atom himself, but Felicity kind of helped him get to that technological standpoint to where he can actually start to shrink, and that he can actually start doing this. That was something that really Felicity was able to bring about. She and those couple of episodes where we've just had Felicity's mom come on or stuff like that, those have also been really good episodes. episodes, showing like more and more intricate sides of Felicity and the way that she acts.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll just go into some some more of the meat of my argument now, and you can start rebutting me if you'd like. I feel like Laurel's character, I did go over how she's been in dark times, but she's still come out on top and stuff like that. And to go more into that, she's not just been a strong character emotionally. Like, even though she's had dark times, she still comes out as a good person. And through that, she's gone from like having some self-defense skills in the beginning of the show to where now she's like be a black canary, and she's been able to like train with like the best of the best in the League of Assassins and stuff like that. And she is now no longer just a weakling, pretty much. Like, she can handle her own. And that's not the only aspect of her life where she's become stronger, is that she used to work for CNRI as a defense attorney. And now she is the assistant DA in Starling City. And so she's become just like exponentially more powerful as a person. Like, she has so much more going for her now, and throughout the show she's just developed so much more than I think Felicity has. Because I think in the beginning, okay, so maybe Felicity was just like the tech girl in Queen Tech or whatever it was called.
It was Queen Tech.
Was it?
Yes.
I think it was. No, but it doesn't matter. Now she's like the CEO, Queen Enterprise or something like that. Now she's the CEO of Palmer Technologies.
Well, they haven't shown that yet. They've just hinted at it.
I'm pretty sure that they wanted everybody to know that. They just didn't go outright and say it.
And, yeah.
Because they did make a point of like showing it on film, like on TV, that Palmer like signed it over to her. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't like some Easter egg. Like, they wanted you to know that.
Yeah, but there is one thing that I want to go back on. One thing that you said, it was where you said that Laurel had through some of her downfalls, she was able to come out being good. I don't know if I could agree with you on that, because there are so many times wherever we were just Laurel, like throughout the whole time of Laurel not telling her father that her daughter died. Really, like, that was something there's no way I could actually hold on to that secret and feel good about it, or think that I'm actually helping my father by leading him on, thinking that his daughter is okay, but you won't be getting any phone calls from her ever.
Right.
Which I mean, that's really one thing that I really didn't like Laurel for.
Okay, I can see that opinion, definitely. But one of her big reasons for doing that was because her father did have a heart condition, and it was a serious heart condition. Like, he was in the hospital, I think, for a while. And by telling him that, like, that legitimately could have, not been good for his health. And I understand, like, that's not a great reason, but she did have a reason. She wasn't just doing it to be mean or anything like that. Like, she was trying to protect her father, and protect his emotional well-being, because she didn't want him to go back to the bottle either. Like, he had been doing really well as far as getting drunk and everything goes, and so she didn't want him to go back to that. And whenever he finally does find out, guess what happens? He goes back to being a drunk. And so what she was trying to protect him from, when he found out, like, that is what happened. So I feel like...
What do you think about it? I
feel like it was for good reasons. Let's talk about Felicity, because she got together... So she obviously, no matter what point in the show we're at, she's wanted to be with Oliver the entire time.
Well, yes, of course.
And she gets together with Ray, which, I mean, like, obviously... Hold on, let me talk. She gets together with Ray, and obviously he's a great guy, so, like, why wouldn't she want to, right? But she gets together with him, has sex with the guy, and then, like, an episode or two later, breaks up with him because pretty much the only reason she broke up with him is because, well, I love Oliver more, and he's about to go die, so even though I really, like, we have a great thing going, I'm dumping you because I want to go say goodbye to the guy that I actually love. And you knew that she loved Oliver the entire time, so the fact that she would go and play with Ray's heart and really tear him up on the inside, I think is not a cool move. I do feel like even after they broke up, they still continued to kind of use him. Like, they used him to, they wanted to use his suit and all kind of stuff to protect the city and everything. And obviously that was something that Ray wanted to do.
Yeah,
also. But another thing I wanted to talk about was that well, just as a quick point, is that at the end of season 2, Oliver did use Felicity as bait so that he could protect Laurel from being killed by Slade. So that's just a quick point. I just want to put that out there. Like, he took Felicity to his house and kind of obviously made it known to Slade that this is the girl that I secretly love, right? And so because of that, Slade goes after Felicity instead of going after Laurel. And I think if anything, if we want to talk about who's valued more in Oliver's eyes, I think Laurel is valued more in Oliver's eyes at this point. And
I mean, I can see
she was used as bait.
She was used as bait.
Anyways, but I mean, we can move on from that. Unless you have something else to say. And
I mean, I would just say that Felicity and what Oliver, of course, is torn between Laurel and Felicity, and we even know that in the comics, Black Canary and Green Arrow are the ones that get together.
Yeah.
So do we know that Felicity's going to last? We don't even know. But we're really just talking about who is the better supporting actor. And when that comes down to that, I would have to say that Felicity is probably one because she has helped bring the story from a two main majority character of Oliver and of Ray Palmer. Those are huge story developments that you were able to bring because of her character.
I think that though, whenever the producers were making the show, they never even planned on having Felicity as a full-time character.
But
so
people loved her so much that they kept her. Which, that's showing something.
That's showing that, she's a very likable character, but, I feel like what made her a likable character is that she's funny and she's very pretty. Not that that's the only reason. I'm saying, very innocent, very, very funny. And she brought, a kind of more liveliness to the show and everything, which is why people liked her. Not necessarily because she's a great character, but because she brought something new. And like you said, Laurel is going to eventually end up with Oliver. And so that makes her not expendable.
100. I mean, there's been lots of times where they have gone off of the comics and just says it's going to be completely original. You never know.
No, talking from interviews with the producers, they have said that they tried to be very true to the comics. And they do the same thing in the Flash show. They have said explicitly that they try and be as true to the comics as they can. Even though they borrow characters from other comic books, the characters that they have on the show, they try and do them justice. And so I do believe that eventually, maybe season 5, season 6 or something like that, we're going to get in a Green Arrow, Black Canary, love thing going on. And yeah, that was weird. But I mean, and so you got to think Felicity's character has no background, so she's expendable. Technically, she's expendable. If we're getting real here, no, technically.
I think she's gonna be, but I think she's gonna be a huge help in this next season. I mean, they've even talked about Damien Dark being kind of a tech wizard or a tech genius.
No, I think it's somebody else now. I don't think Damien Dark's a tech guy. I think he's the League of Shadows villain kind of guy. So
there is someone that has been rumored that is very tech central.
They're making a character to go up against her. So even her villains are expendable as characters. Deathstroke, he's not expendable because he's a legit character. Felicity's not a legit character in the comics. She's awesome in the show. But, but Laurel, she is not expendable. You cannot kill Laurel because Laurel doesn't die.
But does that mean that she's a better supporting actor?
I think it does.
That means that
because she's a more important character.
The story, but I think Felicity so far and what we have seen is she's been really, really helpful in the storytelling.
Sure.
Laura will be really helpful in the future, but from what we know right now, I would have to say that Felicity is probably the better.
Okay, and just for one of my final points, I would disagree with that because I think that Laurel as a character so far in the show, she has been able to hold down 25% of the show by herself because she has storylines all off by herself, whereas Felicity is always helping Oliver or helping Ray. She's not a solo character, whereas Laurel / Black Canary, she can be off on her own, doing her own thing, and you believe it. She's a character that has people around her already. The people who she worked with at CNRI, you got to know them. You get to know, some of the people that she worked with at the attorney's office, all that kind of stuff, and you have her father and the relationship with her father that continues to grow. And so her as a character by herself has so much going for her as far as just more people that she's involved with, and just having a part of the show that is her own, that is apart from Oliver Queen. She has her own thing going on, and so I feel like that makes her as a character besides the lead. Like Oliver Queen, like he's obviously the lead of the show. Any other character besides him, I feel like she has the most going on as a character, as far as development goes. And that's really my final point. And anything else?
Well, I would have to say that so that we don't go on any further, which I know that we could. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I want you guys to tell us what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think is right? Who do you think is wrong?
Yeah.
And we'll see you then. Later.
And you get to see some of his music that he listens to right now. Later.